What is going on, guys? It is Empire Ghost here, and I've been playing X-Defiant non-stop, which is why I think this free-to-play shooter by Ubisoft deserves a quick review. I am not a defender of Ubisoft, nor am I paid to like or dislike this game. This review will be solely based on a casual to medium level gamer that has not played the past Call of Duties but loves the older style and the movement combination that X-Defiant brings. In this review, I will be going over the basis of the game, the guns, the maps, the game modes, and the different playlists available. At the end, I will give my downsides and a finale about whether you should download X-Defiant or not. I will not be going into the battle pass, the transactions, nor the servers of this game. So, without further ado, let's get straight into the video, and I hope you like this review. Bunny hopping straight into this review, we have the gameplay loop section. Here we have the maps, the guns, the XP, and the classes to speak about. First up is the maps. As X-Defiant stands right now, there are a total of 14 maps. My favorite, Pueblito, the Echelon HQ, Noodleplex, and Liberty. However, a lot of these other maps like Zoo or Midway are really not that great because they're only for escort and really only have 2 to 3 choke points which LMG spammers can abuse. Attica Heights, as an example for the snipers, are the camper sniper love story that makes it impossible to be able to capture anything, and Meltdown is used for escort and has a lot of SMG spammable areas, and Arena is just way too small, while Mayday is absolutely way too long, and anyone who tries to use an SMG in this map will just get obliterated. Since only a handful of these are used for certain game modes, I would have liked to see more short-range to medium-range maps that will allow domination and occupy and hot shot shine in the value of escort. Now the next is the juicy part about X-Defiant. Maps can kind of be forgiven, changed, tweaked, and added in later parts, but how do the guns fare in the opening weekend of the game? As of right now, there are 24 total weapons in X-Defiant, and you have the basic assault rifles, shotguns, you have 2 snipers, which is kinda small for a first-person shooter, you have a few LMGs and some marksman rifles, but the meat and bread of this game is the SMGs. And you can hate me for all you want, but in reality, this game holds its basis off of the SMG subclass. The MP7 and the Vector are just way too good to ignore, and even though the ACR can compete, nothing really is better than having a maxed out MP7 and just being able to kill 3 to 4 enemies in rapid succession. And what do you do with those guns? You get XP. This is where X-Defiant gets really interesting. There's no leveling up progression with XP in order to get a certain gun. Instead, you do a challenge in the main menu, you get the gun, and the only XP amount of the game is to get the new DegSec class, which I will speak about in a later short area after this. So, you might be thinking, why would I want to grind for levels when it does nothing but give me attachments and it makes me look like I'm a sweat to be level 80 to level 100 in the first weekend? Here's the reason. X-Defiant has 3 mastery camos for every gun that they can get from a level 50 to 75 to 100. These are in order from bronze, silver, and gold. However, here's my problem with that. There are no other skins you can get besides the shop skins, and there are no headshot camos, 1,000 kills type camos, or a certain kill streak, or get 5 kills without dying, kind of like in Call of Duty. There might be a mastery camo when every gun gets gold, but as of right now, there is nobody that has that, and I can go over this when that does happen. Where X-Defiant really shines is not just the guns, but the classes that you pick with those guns. On the screen now, you are seeing the different classes in X-Defiant, and I will go over each of them and their abilities and truly how good they are. The first is the Cleaners. The Cleaners are your basic fire-breathing pieces of trash. I'm just kidding. I just really hate these guys when they use LMGs and sit in a corner that has fire bullets and really just makes you not want to play the game anymore. However, their ability of a firebomb or a fire-throwing drone with the passive ability to shoot you and have extra damage according to the fire bullets is really helpful when you are playing Domination or Occupy. Their ultimate ability is a gigantic flamethrower that can one-tap enemies, but it is limited to close-range interactions. All in all, this class is not that hard to beat, however you will need some type of shield, some type of movement, or some type of extra damage in order to defeat them before their fire bullets to get to you. This second class is personally my favorite, so I will try not to have a bias. The Phantoms have 120 health and have a little shield that you can activate that goes around 8 to 10ish seconds and can be destroyed using 1 to 1/2 of clips of your magazine, or they can have a full-on blitz from Rainbow Six Siege type of shield that can only really kill you if you are in front of them or if they are dashing at you. Their ultimate ability is a giant bubble shield to where they have a big zapper type of gun that can one-tap you. However, they are very vulnerable as they cannot turn left or right quickly and are left vulnerable many times by their teammates or a lack of communication. I like this class because of the extra amount of health, and honestly, because I like to be able to communicate with my team and get B or C in domination really easily because no one else can shoot through your shield besides your teammates. The next class is Libertad, which is from Far Cry 6, and they are your basic healing level class. Their two abilities are primarily the same, only difference is when you use it. One you can throw for your entire team, and one you can use for yourself. The team healing is a very good ability for when you are capturing zones or trying to occupy an area. The self-healing is obviously good for when you need that little bit of extra health, and it can help you win gunfights that are crucial to your team's success. But the real special ability, or the ultimate of this class, makes it really good when it comes to domination and occupy, because this ability makes you and all your teammates have 200 to 300 health and gives you 2 different health bars that enemies have to take over. So in reality, you are going to be able to take out the entire team if you communicate properly with yours. Overall, this class is really good for beginners and can really help you learn the mechanics of the game while also being able to self-heal and get out of gunfights properly. The next class is called Echelon. It is my least favorite and the most overpowered class that is in X-Defiant right now. Their passive ability is to be able to not be seen on the map or the mini-map no matter whether or not you shoot, you knife, or you die. They have 2 other abilities, which one is a self-cloak to where you can't be seen, however the silhouette is still being able to be seen if you have good enough eyes. The second ability is an intel suit, which case you get to see wherever an enemy is within a 30 to 40 meter radius. However, their ultimate is really what is important here and is the most overpowered ultimate in the game. I think it needs a nerf because you become Sam Fisher in a way where your pistol becomes a 2-tap and you get to see every single person on the map like it's aimbot. Overall, this operator is very good in clutch situations. However, when you have the bunny hopping sweat that is maining this operator and makes it a 2-tap with their ultimate is really when the game can become not fun for beginners or for the casual level gamer. Finally, we have the last class, which can be unlocked from 2 different ways. One, you can buy the coins in the shop, or you can get 700,000 XP. This may seem a lot, but in reality, it's only about level 35 to 36 that you can get this. This is your hacker level class, where they are able to disrupt your entire field of vision, disrupt you out of your ultimate, and have a little bug that makes it where you're practically unable to shoot properly and can lead to an easy kill. This class is fairly balanced if you are able to outmaneuver them or if you're able to communicate with your teammates to keep you alive. This class might be really good if you are with a team, and I think future updates will make it even better, but for right now, not many people have it. In reality, when you do get attacked by the bug, as I've said before, you can just communicate with your team and still get 3 to 4 kills before you die, or just not die at all. Now that we have the gameplay loop done, how every operator is, and even how some of the guns work, the reality of this game is how fun really is it with or without friends. So, for this type of section, I have 3 different playlists that you're able to play. The first being the beginning playlist, which I think is a 10 out of 10 whether or not you have friends or you don't. Because in the beginning, you will be struggling on how to learn the mechanics, how fast the game moves, especially if you play games like Rainbow Six Siege, and how well your gun/aim scale has to be, and that is why the beginner class is a 10 out of 10 for me. This is up until level 25, and you have no skill-based matchmaking, and you are not facing sweaty try-hard nerds every few seconds. Me personally, I really like this beginner game mode, except for the fact that you cannot take out any of the game modes that you do not like, or that you really don't want to play. You just have to be able to wait until you're level 25 to be able to make your own personal playlist. And in reality, this is not too terrible as long as you have friends, or if you just are able to communicate with the randoms on your team. After you become level 25, you'll be forced to be put into the regular playlist. This to me is a 7 out of 10. The regular playlist is for players that are 25 and above and really just don't want to sweat in ranked, or like to play different game modes where they're not forced to play Occupy or Domination or Hotshot or even Escort because of the beginner playlist. This is a 7 out of 10 only because without friends it can get really tedious to try and communicate with randoms, how to capture objectives, or how to occupy some spaces, or even how to protect the hotshot with whoever when your friends are not there. But when you have friends, it can go from a 7 out of 10 to a 10 because of the communication can help you find yourself having fun, enjoying the leveling up, or even able to enjoy all the trash moments that this game can have. But just like any other game with friends, it can make any bad moment into a stellar moment because of laughable moments, just like when you get the top leaderboard and then a player runs across the screen, or if someone just starts ragdolling and then you get to watch that with all your buddies. Now for the moment everyone has been waiting for, if you are a skilled veteran of first-person shooter games, or if you are just the type of person that likes to play ranked and get rewards. This is only a 6 out of 10 for me because of all the metas that you would think, just like in other games, like Fortnite or Rainbow Six Siege, they apply here as well. Instead of seeing different guns, different abilities, different skill checks, or even different mechanics, you see the same old every single time that you log in a ranked. And unlike Rainbow Six Siege or Fortnite, you still get no progression when you do ranked right now. You are only in a 4v4 type of game mode with the same sweaty people. Everyone in this game mode either runs the LMG with the cleaner abilities, the MP7 with its maxed out and are bunny hopping, or they stand in a corner with their sniper with Echelon and wait until they can be the Sam Fisher ability and 2-tap you from 100 meters away. Overall, this ranked experience can be altered, but for the most part, 4v4 without search and destroy is what kills this rating. Now that this review is coming to a close, we are into the last part, which is my personal downsides or things I really just do not like. The first being the fact that there is no TDM, search and destroy, or free-for-all. However, this is going to be added in a future update as said by the developers. It is just weird that on launching weekend at the state of the game right now, that it would not have the casual type game modes where you can get your gun XP without having to do a team-based game mode. My second downside would be the lack of guns to make up for the metas. While there are a lot of guns to choose from, there are only a handful that are really used every single playlist that you see and that you really tend to hate towards the end. I think there should be more of guns to be able to combat the meta of the MP7 or the LMG with the cleaners or even the ACR just sitting in a corner, or the fact that all three of them will be bunny hopping to try and make you rage quit. My third one would be the lack of skin progression. I know, this game is not trying to be a Call of Duty clone, but in order to get more accomplishment from grinding, I think there should be more skins, even if they are unique, than just the mastery camos of getting level 50, level 75, and level 100, because in reality, it just tells you how much time you played the game, and whether or not you played 1,000 matches versus 100, not really that you mastered the camo. My fourth downside would be the lack of maps. Now before you start killing me, and start raging in the comments, because there are a handful of maps that are replayable, there are really only a few maps that regular people see when they're not playing Escort only or when they're not playing the entire game itself. Because I do not like playing long range maps when you're trying to upgrade your SMGs or when you're trying to do your LMGs on a mid-range map like such as Arena and you're just getting spammed by bunny hopping tryhards, I think there should be more middle range maps that have some close quarters combat on one side, but also have mid-range gunfights available on the other. A fifth downside would be the fact that the OP variants of classes are abused in this game. Very rarely do you see differing play styles of games, such as you see a shield bubble, and then you see a cleaner, and then they work together, or a shield bubble with the Libertad, and they get domination. No, you just see shield bubble and Echelon classes, and you might have one shield bubble and 4 Echelon classes, and they can all take you down because they all get their ultimate at the same time, and then you have a bubble, and then you have 4 different guns that can 2-tap you. Alternatively, I do realize they're adding more into the game, but right now, that will probably not happen for another week or a month to where they get a big update, but for the launch weekend, this is very terrible to be playing against. And my last but most crucial downside is the reason why I find many new players not wanting to play this game past level 25, and it is the bunny hopping. I understand Call of Duty right now is all about movement, and yes, Activision has tried to dumb it down, but it hasn't really worked. That is exactly where X-Defiant is right now, and the fact that there are 1,000 times the movement of Call of Duty, and every single weapon has a mobility factor, and the higher that is, the more you're able to jump spam, and especially when they're using the SMG. It is really just annoying to shoot someone up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, because there is no stamina regen, nor is there a stamina pool to where you can limit the amount of jumps you can get before you have to shoot someone on the ground, which in reality this makes the TTK 1,000 times faster for SMGs, but 1,000 times harder for every other gun. I believe this can be fixed with a simple stamina regen, only for jumping, but I also think it can be fixed by giving us more power for aim assist, or by negating bunny hops by making it to where Call of Duty is right now, to where if you jump a certain amount of times, it will make you jump slower and lower to the ground until you stop completely and you are forced to stay on the ground. For the finale, the question that I was supposed to answer is, should you download XDefiant? My wholehearted decision is yes. Not only is this a free Call of Duty clone with abilities, but it is also a time waster and can help with boredom that games are giving nowadays, especially in the months of summer and June and July and even August. While there are many problems that need to be fixed, such as lag, server issues, the fact that there's a battle pass, and the fact that you can spend money on the game even though it's free to get, or the fact that you can buy the DedSec class without having to grind, makes me a little ticked. But I do believe that this game is a worthy download. It is only around 30 to 40 gigabytes, it is free, and I think it can be a 6 to 7 out of 10 right now, but that can also obviously be raised if you have some friends to play with, or if you're just looking for a time waster to be able to grind for something and not have to have a full long commitment. If you enjoyed this review, give a thumbs up and subscribe, and until the next time, I will see you. Peace out, Ghost Squad.